When we think of the Christmas story, we usually think of a manger, the faraway town of Bethlehem, the birth of a baby named Jesus, and then we probably shift our attention to snowy scenes or sleigh rides or Santa Claus, maybe some Christmas carols, and so on and so forth. But the Christmas story is far greater than that. It began a long time before Bethlehem. It began at the beginning of man's history. God created a type of being to be his friend, one that would love him voluntarily. He had created angels and the like, but they loved him automatically. They had no free will. God knew that a true friend had to be one that would love him by choice, so he made man. But man stumbled and fell into rebellion in a place called the Garden of Eden. The first man, named Adam, at one point early in his life obeyed Satan's command instead of God's. This threw man into a condition known as sin. Sin was completely hereditary, so all men after Adam were sinful. Because of sin, all men were doomed not only to die a physical death at the end of their lifespan, but after that death they were doomed to go to hell, a place originally reserved only for Satan and his evil angels. But God was unwilling that his favorite creature, man, should perish and suffer eternally for Adam's rebellion, so he decided to send his son to pay the punishment for all. This brings us to Bethlehem. Jesus was born of a virgin, announced by angels, visited by traveling kings and shepherds, grew up as a man, taught the love of God, lived a sinless life, performed dramatic miracles, and taught the need for spiritual rebirth and to receive God's forgiveness. This brings us to Calvary. As a substitute for us to take our judgment and punishment, this Jesus, called Emmanuel, which means God with us, then went to his death at the cross, was buried, and then resurrected after 3 days, just as he said he would be. He was then seen by over 500 witnesses, after which he returned to heaven and sent the Holy Spirit to empower those that would believe in him, and so establish the early church on earth. The reason that we give gifts on Christmas is to symbolize this great gift that God gave to us through Jesus. Why is this gift so great? Because in our sinful state, we could not fulfill the whole purpose of our being created, which is to have fellowship or friendship with God. Instead of giving us eternal death for our sin, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, so that whosoever believes on him would not perish, but have life everlasting. We don't have to hide from God. He's not mad at us. It's our sin that he hates, not us. The weight of that sin makes us feel like we have to hide from him, but that's a mistake. That's a trick of sin itself. He loves us. He cares for us. He wants us to come to him for forgiveness and a fresh start. It's already paid for. That's what Christmas is all about. That's the Christmas story.